So I've been learning pixel art for about 2 years now. I bought some Udemy courses to learn the basics, and I've been following tutorials here and there whenever I have some time. I do have a full-time job, but I've been thinking for a little while now about a way to turn this hobby into a source of passive income. And I'd say that the main problem that was keeping me away from making this a reality was that I wasn't really too confident about my drawing skills. However, about a month ago, I finally decided to push myself a little bit, and I started actually thinking about a plan. So the very first thing that I actually thought about was where I was going to sell the pixel art, and thankfully I already had an answer for that, and that is itch.io. I myself had already bought some pixel art on itch.io, and I already had a profile on the website, so that seemed like the best place to start. At this point, I started doing a little bit of research and mainly what sells well on itch.io and what about the price of what actually sells, and I've also been thinking about what makes a certain product more attractive than another one. At this point, taking into account my own pixel art skills, I decided to set down for a 16 by 16 pixel art tile set for a pretty generic top-down game. I have already drawn some pixel art tile sets in the past, so I was feeling pretty confident about this small project. At this point, I also decided to set some very clear limitations for the tile set. Well, the first one being, of course, the size. So the size of each tile was going to be 16 by 16 pixel, and the second one was going to be the color palette, which is fixed. If you're looking for inspiration for color palettes, there are a ton of websites on the internet, so if you're not too confident about actually making your own palette, you can choose a pre-made palette, and I really like the website Lowspec. You can find a ton of great palettes for pixel art on there. At the same time, I've started thinking about the theme as well as a name for the tile set. I really like the idea of having different little planets with different themes, and so I settled with the name Pixelarium, which comes from pixel plus planetarium, which I think has a very nice ring to it. So at this point, I had not drawn a single pixel, but I knew that I wanted to draw a tile set, that I wanted to sell it on itch.io, and I already knew that I was going to sell it for about $5 as a maximum price, and of course I also had the name for it. So at this point, I actually started to look into drawing the tile set, and I knew that I wanted to have something pretty standard in terms of top-down pixel art games. So I went for some simple grass and beach tiles, and I thought it would be nice to create a bit of a village around it. And at this point, I also decided the name for the specific tile set, and I've decided to go for Village of All Beginnings. This is a nice reference to one of my favorite childhood games, which is Tomba from 1998, if I'm not wrong. And that was the very first area in that game, and I thought that the name was pretty fitting because I like in the future to create more tile sets for the Pixelarium project, and I like the first one to be the beginning of this project. So once all of that was clear for me, I started drawing the tile set a little bit every day, and I mainly worked on it from 8 to 9 a.m. right before work and during the weekends. I wasn't really in a hurry to create the tile set, so I just pushed myself to create at least a couple of tiles every single day, and it took me about a month, I'd say, to complete the whole tile set. Of course, if I had more time on my hands, I would have probably finished it in, I'd say, maybe a week, but I decided to, really take my time and not stress too much about when the tile set was going to be released, but I told to myself that it was going to be released when I felt it was ready for release. So I played around with different variations for all the tiles, and I added a variety of items to make the tile set come a little bit more alive, and you should see it now on screen, the entire tile set. At this point, I came up with a bit of a mock-up, and I decided to share it on the YouTube community section because I really wanted to get a bit of a feedback. And this was actually a great idea because I realized that there was something missing that was vital for the tile set, which was an animated character. I realized that if I really wanted to give the tile set a chance, adding a character would really be a big plus, and so I started working on a character, and I animated it with standard idle, run, and attack animations so that you can actually use the tile set as well as the character for a small game project. At this stage, I created an itch.io page, but I did not simply post the tile set there. I really took my time to create an attractive page with animated GIFs, different screenshots to show off the tile set. I've also created a description, added some images in the text, made a custom background and a banner, and I also made some vectorial work for the thumbnail, which was something that I had never done before actually. I've been learning Inkscape for my PhD, and I decided to use those skills to do a little bit of a vectorial work, and I think it really paid off because the thumbnail now looks so much nicer with a little bit of a vectorial title there. all of the page creation, promotional stuff creation actually took a full weekend of work. So not even joking, I think I spent 20 hours only on the promotional work and adjusting the banner, adjusting the background, adjusting the text. It was really a lot of work, way more work than I thought it would be, honestly. But I wasn't really in a hurry or anything, so I took my time with it. So as of today, Pixelarium has been up on itch.io for a couple of days, and I'm super happy to say that I've almost made $50 from it, which feels great. Honestly, I started this project with almost no expectation. I did set up a $50 goal, but I never thought that I would actually reach it, and it does seem like I am going to reach that. That feels really great. And if I had to wrap up, so it took me a full month slowly working on things at my own pace and making sure that I was actually satisfied with the product. I'm super proud about myself for actually pushing through the project and setting it up for sale, especially for managing to do all the work while also working full time, which isn't always easy. Now that I've gone through the project once, I'm really looking forward to creating more tile sets, and I'm confident that I can actually work on these tile sets while not taking away too much time from my full-time job, and also while keeping a good life-work balance, which is very, very important for me. And if you guys are interested, my next tile set is actually going to be sci-fi themed, which I'm very, very excited about. I'm going through a little bit of a Xenoblade obsession period right now, and so I'm really into everything sci-fi, and I just can't wait to work more on the sci-fi tile set and to release it at some point. So if you'd like to support my work and to buy the tile set, it is on sale until the end of March. I'm leaving all of the links in the description down below and also in the pinned comment. And also, if you'd like to support in general, you can also send a coffee. I've actually revamped the page if you're interested. And as a very final message for this video, if you have been thinking about selling your art, go ahead, push through it, take your time, but push through it, especially if you've been self-sabotaging yourself. I know that I always do. I always talk negatively about myself. I'm never confident about my work. I always think that whatever I do is trash. So honestly, in the worst case, you will have learned a lot from the process. Yeah, you can do it. Honestly, if it takes a month, 2 months, or 3 months, if you push through it, doing a little bit of work every day, you will see that at the end, it will be worth it. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, I hope to see you guys next time.